Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are, however, all of you are joining the conversation on the People's Radio. This is Freedom Hub on 87.9. My name is Kyle Oliver Kine. I'm here with Princess Alexa Vanja Colley on the first working Monday of the year 2025. Too many things happening in the country. Students at the state-run University of Liberia sent out a caveat on today told the Joe Broadcast administration. In their words, they're saying no UL, no sooner. What is happening at the angle of the University of Liberia? We are told that the UL will be opening on the 13th date of this month, especially with too many issues surrounding the status of the institution. But again, we witnessed students from the Students' Unification Party there at the University of Liberia parading in the principal street of Monrovia, calling on Mr. Bwaka, the Honorable President of our country, to ensure that the UL be reopened. Or better still, he is not going to be addressing the Liberian people through the State of the Nation Address platform. Too many things to talk about. Motorhead, an officer of the Liberian National Police, precisely of the Police Support Unit, the PSU, allegedly shot himself on yesterday. Yes, you heard it correctly. He pointed the gun to himself and fired, killing himself. This is the second time individuals from the state security apparatus of our country under the Joe Broadcast administration will be killing themselves allegedly. Initially, it had to do with Sergeant Bobby Mande of the Armed Forces of Liberia. We are told Bobby Mande shot himself with over 6 bullets. And again, on yesterday, we got a fresh information that an officer of the PSU Department of the Liberian National Police has shot himself in the Samuka Town community area, there in the township of Caldwell. But too many things happening. A lot of these issues will be brought to you here on the platform. The situation on Capitol Hill continues, with the majority members taking some legislative actions, while the minority members have organized themselves into the rule of law lawmakers, the rule of law legislative caucus, and they've elected Musa Hassan Belati of District Number 7 in my county as the chairman of the rule of law caucus of the House of Representatives. All of these, plus many other conversations, will form today's edition, especially on the first segment. At the second segment, we will play host to a Liberian human rights activist. He'll be telling us more about too many issues relative to gender-based violence, issues relative to police brutality, and other issues that will border on human rights and rights against humanity. Yeah, crimes against humanity, as a matter of fact. All of these issues will be brought forth when we play host to Liberian human rights activist Titus Pakala. That conversation will come up somewhere around 5:15 today, right here on your People's Radio. Let's take a break. When we come back, we bring you all of these plus many other conversations in addition to our cash giveaway, when all of you can have the chance to win for yourself $3,000 just by playing with 100 Liberian dollars. The code remains the same on Monday. You dial star 799 hash, then you select number 11 for Freedom Radio Liberia. And the rest of it, you can follow the prompt messages. If you're lucky, you win for yourself $3,000. We hope to call a lot of you will be winning today, right here on the platform. Let's take a break. We'll be right back for the continuation of the show.
Can't stop the Liberia. Remember, you see it? This is a message from UNICEF Women's Society.
Stop it right and get before them before. Set it to interior. If you ask your we have for all the stop it right and get before them before. Stop Liberia. And set it to interior. If you ask your stop it right for all the
Okay, so welcome back to the program Freedom Hub on 87.9. Alexa, good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon, Oliver, and I would like to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. However, where you join us, I would like to say welcome to today's edition of Freedom Hub on 87.9 FM. And of course, we're live on Facebook, Freedom Radio Liberia, as well as YouTube. However, where you join us, I would like to say welcome. We have a lot to talk about because you know exactly Liberia doesn't go out of stories. Liberia doesn't go out of interesting topics. So today being one of the days of the week, I mean the first working day out about that, we're going to have a lot to talk about. Also, we have, commented a bit on some of the issues around the mysterious deaths or some of the unfortunate death news and dead bodies we have seen of recent in our country. On that note, we're going to have Tatas Pakala here for the second segment. It has been a long time coming anyway, but we're going to discuss a lot of these things that are happening because he is one of the loudest voices when it comes to all these human rights issues in our country, as well as some of the things that ruin the life of women, boys, girls in our country. For this one, it is not just about women, it is not just about boys, it's about girls. I think it is about our society as a whole because people are confused and people are scared. So he has a whole catalog and he's going to discuss that with us here. And the public will be aware of exactly what's happening, the records that are there or that are available now. And I'm sure he's also going to be calling on the government of Liberia to do what is to be done in making sure these different issues are settled. But we'll have a lot to talk about. Like yesterday, Oliver just mentioned the issue about another police officer or PSU, as we say, right? And that's another unfortunate news because this has become a trend now under this administration. So we don't know what it was, we don't know what it is about this.
We don't even know what triggered that.
Exactly, we don't know. They're just different statements and different views. But we're going to talk about it a bit if this is going to be the trend of the day, or if this is going to be something that will continue. We don't know. We don't know why it keeps happening. We don't know why these are occurrences. We do not know. but a lot is happening in the country anyway. So we'd like to say welcome.
Okay, so basically, welcome back to the program. Like what we will do is to run for the story. That is what we do. We run for the story. But for those of you who are the cash giveaway people, remember that you have the chance to win for yourself 3,000 Liberian dollars.
For today.
Yeah, 3,000 Liberian dollars just by playing using $100. So I see a lot of people winning. During the show, we will come up subsequently to
Which one of the
yeah, we'll come up subsequently to this is the issue that has to do with the ERU man who allegedly shot himself. We want to bring it. This is a kind courtesy of DTV Online. We want to bring that story to you, the Liberian people. Yeah, so we'll be calling all of you. We'll be winning the morning today. We'll be calling a lot of you. We are hoping that we'll call all of you in time for your prizes. But why the country? Why everybody got busy? If not, well, the Christians were busy on first Sunday, worshiping God Almighty. A Liberian police officer was there, pulling the trigger, firing bullet, allegedly in his own, ending his own life. And this is a kind courtesy of DTV. We want to play a bit of it, and we'll move on to other conversations here on 87.9. Let's listen. Okay, Alexa, you heard a bit of it. We couldn't uh, the entire video because it was a tragic situation, and for viewers, discretion, we could not do the graphic edition of it. But an officer like got himself in that situation. The details surrounding that, the details we do not have, but according to what we know, uh, he is believed to be from the ERU, the division of the Liberia National Police, the PSU ERU division, and he was assigned in Kinjo, Grenkima County, where we have the gold mine, Kinjo, and he allegedly shot himself in the Samuka town, Cardwell community. So this is it, Alexa. The second time in less than a year under Joe Walker's administration, a state security officer is committing suicide allegedly. So that is what it is. I don't know what your take on it. Then we can wrap up and move to the next conversation.
I mean, a dead man is a dead man, and even if you want to go beyond the surface, just to ask the hard questions to some extent, you will get views from maybe family members, you get views from maybe their loved ones, but to get to a point where you want to get, what actually triggered that incident. Unfortunately, you wouldn't get that because a dead man is a dead man. However, I think this has become a trend, and I don't know if this is a good trend because honestly, I'm not sure it is to have a police officer just trying to take away their own life. We know people go through different situations, only 100% emotionally. Yeah, people go through stuff like that, and sometimes you wouldn't know what would trigger a certain decision. But like you said, this is an alleged, you know, case of suicide. Like at about this point, so I don't want to talk about independent investigation again, because again, I would sound like a broken record because I've said that just that phrase here. I don't know how many times just last week, right? And we're here again on a different Monday. We're talking about another situation that is not really unique to what we would normally think it would be. So I do think people who are his family members, they should be able to answer different questions, because I'm sure the video we just watched, I think it happened in the house, right? Right, it happened in the house. And I'm also sure just before that moment, he may have had different conversations with different people. Maybe he may have had a talk with, if he had a girlfriend or wife. I'm sure they had a talk. I'm sure he also had, a couple of friends that maybe may have seen him before the incident on that day. So I think people should just explain to us or explain to the public, his last moments and some of the things he said. If there were any signs of, something that would happen later on, or any sign of something that would trigger the decision that was made allegedly. But this is not a unique situation, especially like no one would want to sit here and be happy when their loved one, is dead, or when it is reported that, your loved one has taken away their own life. Definitely you'll be devastated, you'll feel sad, and you'll feel confused, because you will start to, put the different pieces together and start to just recount moments, like what exactly happened at about that time, and how did he get to, a certain point to have made that decision, right? So there are different questions, there are different concerns. So I do think this is not a trend that's unique, because this is not the first report. Definitely, maybe for this year, yeah, it is the first reported, one exactly that the public is aware of. But last year, 2024,
It was about an army personnel
exactly,
from the airport.
we had another one. And after the incident, happened, later on, family members, came up and they talked about different issues, and some of them were not even satisfied. Some of them even said it was not the case that was reported, right? So I don't want us to be too fast. Like, this is an alleged case of suicide, of course. So I don't want us to be fast. Maybe in the coming days we'll have some of the family members.
It may not be suicide.
Exactly. That's exactly the point I'm trying to make.
Sure.
It may not be that. So maybe in the coming days, because people are still mourning, people are still sad at about this point, like someone has died, right? 100%. So now they're now going to be open to talk to the public. They're now going to be open to just explain, some of the things that happened. So they're still in the stage where they're grieving right now. So they wouldn't be able to talk about that. So I think we should give it time, maybe in the next couple of days or the next couple of weeks. We'll have family members, maybe, or friends, just to talk about some things that happen, if this is not really a case of suicide. So I think we should leave that open. And I don't know if there is an ongoing investigation that's happening right now. I don't know, because this person is from, of course, Liberia National Police in a particular unit. So if someone, had to commit that, I don't know how to say it. Like, sometimes people will say nothing will make me to commit that act. nothing will make me to take away my life.
Mhm.
But you don't know exactly what will happen, right? So is there any investigation being launched at about this moment? Because that person was not just an ordinary citizen. No, that was someone, serving his country. That was someone who, had responsibility and had a duty to protect lives, protect properties. And the list will go on if you just want to talk about his duties or the duties he had as a police officer from a particular unit. So, has there been any investigation launched? Also, uh, have we had any maybe press conference from the Liberia National Police, maybe the police IG? Have we had anything like that other than just what was played earlier on?
Mhm.
I mean, we need to know, Oliver, 100%, because, for example, if you have someone from a particular organization and there's a report that the person had taken away their own life, definitely you want to talk to the public, especially if the person is from your organization, the organization is into investigating, the organization is into, just making sure the public is informed when it comes to crimes, when it comes to, some of the arts that are not supposed to happen in our society. So, has there been any press conference or has there been any statement from the Liberia National Police? We also need to know that. But this is very sad, and of course, I'd like to say my deepest sympathies to his family, his loved ones, his friends, because no one deserves to die in a certain way, and we don't know exactly what's happening. We don't know what the case was last year with the guy from the AFL, and we still do not know what the case was from this guy who was from the police as well. So I'm just saying this out to Greg. I don't know if they have a planned conference or press conference to address the public. We don't know if they have launched an investigation. We don't know about that.
Mhm.
But please do what you can to give closure because we want to know. Seriously, we need to know what actually happened. And we just can't be here and just having our own analysis. This is like a serious case, like seriously case, or serious case, a serious one. I don't know if you saw the video. Like we couldn't really show maybe every part because we don't want to have like a different situation on the social media like Facebook, maybe because of the viewers or that. But I think family members, maybe in the coming days, we cannot tell them how to move, we cannot tell them how to react. Because when you lost somebody, 100%, when someone, exactly, 100% you have to be in a moment where you're thinking, is this real, is this not real? So they had already lost someone. They had lost their son. If he had kids, they lost their father, and stuff like that. So we need to know what actually happened before the incident or the day of the incident. We need to know if there's any investigation being launched. If that is the case, then we just sit back and wait for the findings. If not, we don't know exactly what's going to happen because last year we're here again, just talking about it. And today, I don't know if we got to the bottom of that
Okay,
to know what happened.
so we want to spend more time on it. Like she said, we are hoping that the police will do the honorable thing to do a proper investigation. But one thing I am very concerned about is the fact that this man was assigned at Kinjal,
And we know the story about Kenjo. What happens there?
a mining entity.
Exactly.
Now, when people go to protect, gold, diamond, and the individuals who are mining it, that's a whole economic zone. There are too many things that can happen. Sometimes people know a lot of things. Somebody know who took diamond, somebody know who took gold. So anything is possible, especially when he was allegedly assigned. King Joe. Too many things can happen.
Mhm.
Yeah, I may be a police officer on duty, and I see somebody picking up,
Yeah,
you
yes,
know,
I still won't use how they got it go.
3 billion pieces of diamond, put it in your pocket, and I get a recording you, and I'm the only person who saw you. I mean, anything is possible. So it is important that a lot of these investigations be done, so as to uncover if there are probability of foul play other than what is being reported as an alleged suicide case. So yes, we're not going to preempt anything, but we're trying to connect the dots and we're trying to ensure that justice will be done to the family. Uh, it is our it is our concern. When a Liberian life is lost, we do not take pleasure in anybody dying, I mean, as a result of some mysterious circumstances. And so we are asking for the authority to do what is prudent at about this moment. Now, to the next issue, the students of the University of Liberia are concerned. Uh, they already have a white woman as the new president. What are you laughing for? This is a very serious matter.
Well,
No, but I mean, UL has
an
been given,
American citizen.
but a white woman. Is she not a white woman?
An American
No,
citizen.
forget for a black person to be an American citizen. When you're giving news, unless I give news clearly, where we understand it in the market. President Baga has appointed a white woman as the new president for the University of Liberia. And following that decision, the students of the University of Liberia, especially those from the Student Unification Party, are concerned about the reopening of their institution. And on today, they were in the principal streets of Monrovia. They even passed in front of Freedom FM today. They were in the principal street of Monrovia, rallying their base and informing the Liberian government, precisely the office of the president, that an attempt for the UL to be closed, there will be no sooner, there will be no State of the Nation address. I don't want to be the one saying it. Listen to students of the UL as they were chanting the different slogans. And by the way, we do not in any way endorse some of the descriptions that we'll be using, some of the words that we'll be using. We're in no way in agreement with it. These are students. We do not control their utterances. And that's why we did everything possible to ensure that we got a clear and clean version to play on the radio. So listen, the guys were in the streets today calling on the government to do the honorable thing.
So that is it. You're in the back to I'm told that we are going down.
All right. Okay, so that is exactly where we are. That is exactly where we are at the moment. So let's go back to the next one. Quickly, let's go back to the next one and see where we are. Okay, hold on.
That's right. Listen, listen. Listen,
Okay, so there you have it. Those are students from the Vanguard Student Unification Party of the state-run University of Liberia, and the guys are very clear. They say if you can open UL, no State of the Nation address. Take a time and listen to them. We're establishing contact with individuals from SUP, and they will be able to tell us more about what they are trying to convey to the government. They're trying to convey to this administration. Let's go to the line. I'm told he's a member of the Polar Bureau, but again, he's there with the spokesperson of the Student Unification Party, Mr. Famula. Do we have the spokesperson of SUP available?
No, you have the Assistant Secretary General, the Chief Mayor on the Polling Bureau, the Secretary Central Committee and Polling Bureau of the Vanguard Student Education available here on this ground.
What is your name, sir?
My name is Kevin George.
Mr. George, we saw students from the Student Unification Party today in Monrovia parading, and some of the things you said, has to do with no opening of the school, no State of the Nation address. I kept playing it on the radio. Liberians have listened to it. What are you doing? Are you threatening, to stop the president from addressing the country? What do you intend to achieve?
Yeah, thank you very much for giving me this invitation to speak on this very important platform.
Okay.
Again, I would like to, say to the public, my name is Kevin George, the Assistant Secretary General of the Student Education Party. Yeah, the issue, what you heard there, it was the policy statement of the Student Education Party that was pronounced by the chairman of the Vanguard Student Education Party.
Okay.
No school no state of the nation address. Yes, the party mean that, and we are very, very clear about that. And the reason for which we are saying that it has been on 3 different occasions that the university administration or authority promised the Liberian people and the students of the university that we were going to open school. The last time we checked, it was on November 18 that school supposed to be open, but for no tangible reason, for no serious reason, we were informed. We were informed maybe just a day to opening, just a day to November 18, we were informed that the issue of school being open has been postponed just by for a leaflet.
Okay.
And we have some issue regarding that. We will confront the administration on that on a round-table conversation. They promised us again for school to open, right, in December. And that did not materialize. Now you are telling us that January 13 school is supposed to open. When we have been hearing things, rumors in the corridor, expressing to us that school is to be open April. And that is the reason why we are saying to the Liberian people, we are saying to the government of the day that when there is no school, January 13, there will be no sooner. But there will be no state of the nation address.
Mr. Assistant Secretary, the executive mansion posted that by the 13th of this month, like you just referenced, the school will open. Why don't you want to trust what the government said?
We are not trusting that because we have been promised on 2-3 different occasions that school is supposed to be open at a particular time, and in one time that was canceled.
Okay.
And all of the time that school was canceled, before the opening of school being canceled on these 2 occasions, we heard a few rumors telling us that school now open November 18, right?
Uh-huh.
And then we took it for joke. But in the final analysis, that material that school did not open November 18. So this time around again, there is this rumor passing in the corridor, explaining to the Liberian people or explaining to the students of the University of Liberia that school is to be open April 18. So we don't want to overload this rumor. That's the reason why we are being very clear about the state of the Republic. The school open January 13, there will be no state of the nation again. Very, very clear about that.
When you say
very, very clear, and that is the policy statement of the chairman of the Revolutionary Vanguard Student Party.
No, we are concerned. We are concerned about what Mr. Secretary, can you control some of the militants because we want to have this interview on to the Liberian people. Now we are concerned about what are you going to do to stop SONA, because SONA is just not an ordinary event. This is an event where the president will be present. You're going to have state security people. The entire national security is going to be concentrated on wherever venue is going to be taking place. Now, when you say no SONA, what's the definition of no SONA? What are you going to do?
That is the reason why you saw today, we came out to rally the Liberian people, to rally the over 20,000 students from the campuses of the university. We provide an awareness as it relates to our position.
Okay.
That when there is no school January 13, there will be no state of nation address. The people of this country have the right to decide whatever way they want the regime of the day to proceed.
Okay.
So all the times we have informed the people are very concerned about their children being in school. So definitely we understand that when school doesn't open on January 13, definitely we believe that the battle winners, the Keke rider who are members of the university too as well, because some of these guys you see on the Keke, they also attend the University of Liberia.
Okay.
They are well in the situation today. So we believe they are going to go on to demand a region of the day to open school. And that is our position, and we are clear about that.
People think you guys are bluffing. People think at the end of the day you're going to be called by a few individuals in the government, and this thing is going to be dead and gone.
No. This is the Vanguard Certification Party I knew. I knew before and I knew now. The Certification Party never take any of our decision. Like this. We should be very, very clear about this. The Certification Party in history, we remember, this is the same party that says Mr. We should face the country. This is the same party that called on the regime to address the issues surrounding the university campus. This is the same party that said Mr. Taylor should leave. This is the same party that said Mr. Doe should leave. So when the party gave a position clear, the party applied all effort, all necessary steps to ensure that this position be executed and executed by the revolutionary men and militants of the Revolutionary Vanguard Certification Party. So there is nothing that will be taken to to be taken for a joke.
Okay.
We are very serious about the situation surrounding the university. We are very clear about it. And if Mr. Boaka and the regime of the day doesn't listen to the part of the student of the republic, right? Doesn't listen to the part of the student of the republic, definitely we are going to execute. We are going to execute the mandate of the chairman of the tripartite session of the Revolutionary Education Party. There's nothing about talk about it. We are clear about it. That is the reason why we take our first position to start to mobilize the students, to start to mobilize the people. We provide awareness today. That is the reason why we move out the street, the principal street of Monrovia. We went at the center for the exchange of intellectual opinion. We provide the information why we were boycotted, the State of Nation address. We went, to series of intellectual center. We have sent medical academy in various environments to mobilize the people and provide information for the people. So this issue is not going to be addressed by the Vanguard Party alone, but it's going to be addressed by the Liberian masses as well, who find interest in the University of Liberia to be open.
Okay. Mr. Assistant Secretary General, I have a concern, and one of the concerns of the Student Unification Party the past couple of weeks was you not having a president appointed. And now Mr. Boaka has already appointed a new president of the University of Liberia. So what exactly is your reaction now that you are saying if school doesn't open, you're going to, go in the State of the Nation address?
For the question of the appointment of the president of the university, it is something that the Bureau of the Student Education Party is clearly observing and trying to analyze and from a very decent perspective to understand how the president of the university was being appointed. And we are going to study the process. We are going to look at it on a very professional background. So that is the reason why up to this time, we are not paying attention to that now. We cannot give our position on that until the chairman, the most powerful man on the campuses of the university, decide and get ready for all to give our position as it relates to the appointment of the newly appointed president of the university.
Just before we leave you, you said the chairman of SUP is the most powerful man on the campus. Is he powerful than the president of the university?
Oh, yeah. You never understand the chairman is powerful than the president of the university. The chairman presides over the tripartite session, right, of the Student Education Party.
Okay.
And the president of the university presides over one body, right? Just the university, right? It's a very minute portion of the government. Just the university of Liberia. It's a very minute portion of the society. But the chairman presides over the tripartite session, right? The Central Committee, the Politburo, and concomitant the General Congress of the Revolutionary Education Party is 3 different sections of the institution. And allow the institution to live with vibrancy for 54 years. Right? Championing the cause of the Liberian masses by people is not an easy thing. These are the pillars that enforce the strength of the Vanguard Education Party. Moving along the line of struggle and history, survivability, blood, sweat, and tears to conquer victories. These are the pillars that enable the Vanguard Education Party with that firing power to conquer these spaces.
And
so we look forward to maybe hosting your chairman one of these days. We look forward to that. Thanks for being on the line with us.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. He's the Assistant Secretary General of the Students Unification Party there at the state-run University of Liberia. Let's have we do this quickly, and we come back to have some analysis on some of the issues.
Our guest is already here. We'll have him in the next couple of days.
Yeah, we'll have our guests. We already have the time, set up. Okay, Alexa, Joseph Baka, you heard the students. Quickly, we got
that on my grandpa and you author that.
We got to do this analysis, then we go quickly to the lines. Liberians got a call. Two different issues.
Of course, they have to. Anyway, I'm not really going to say way too much because the Assistant Secretary General said a lot. And if you're going to ask me honestly, I think their concerns are genuine about this point because you cannot have young people, trying hard and just striving to advance educationally. And about this moment, they've been out of school for I don't know how many months or a couple of weeks. So I do think their concerns are genuine because they're desperate enough to go back to school, and I'm sure they're also concerned the fact that their time is being wasted because if they have been in school maybe for the past 2 or 3 months, I'm sure people have would have already crossed to the next stage of the semester, right? So the fact that this is something that has been going on, and according to him, they were promised not on one occasion, but more than two different occasions, right? They were promised that, of course, school will commence at about this time. And after the promises were made, the promises were not fulfilled.
Oh yeah.
So I think sometimes people have to be critical and people have to be drastic when they are giving due diligence to their leaders, when they're giving due diligence to maybe someone who is supposed to look in a direction of their best interest. So I do think whatever they have planned right now, like we're talking about the state of the nation of just of course everybody wants to maybe listen to Mr. Boakai, and they want to listen to Mr. Boakai talk about what maybe his government has achieved for a year or whatever, what are the gains this government has made. But at the same time, education should be a top priority, and we are talking about the state-run university. We're not talking about any different university. This is the University of Liberia. This is an institution, where the image is supposed to be branded. And Mr. Boakai, we don't want to be political about it, but Mr. Boakai, along with other people, some of his folks also, talked about the university before, and they were in solidarity with the Student Unification Party at the time when they raised different concerns and we talked about some of the issues that were happening at the University of Liberia. They were in solidarity, and now that they are the government of the day, they're supposed to look into all of these different concerns and sort out what's going on.
Good.
And what the students are saying, or what exactly the students want, they are saying we want school to open. Like, I'm not sure that is really hard enough. Like, it has been over maybe 2 or 3 months. So if Mr. Boakai is really concerned, if Mr. Boakai is really serious when it comes to, prioritizing education as well as the state-run university, I'm sure at about this time, all of the promises that were made, they would have been fulfilled. And just in case there were reasons as to why they did not actually honor, maybe the meetings or the dialogues they had, they would have called the students again and maybe talked about different things and what exactly they're planning and all sort of, what was exactly happening. But now the students are out of school. They're young people. 100% they're young people.
Okay.
Some of them are doing everything possible to just succeed. So the fact that they're out of school, anyone will feel disappointed. So I'm sure they're very disappointed. I'm sure some of them are really sad. And the fact that you have a certain group of students, like a particular, organization, taking a stance now to call on Mr. Boakai to do what is right about this moment. I think they need support to some extent. They have to tell us more about what's going to happen if a school doesn't open, especially they're talking about not having the SONA to happen. We need to know more about that. That's one of the reasons I told him maybe we'll have his chairman in studio, to have a detailed conversation, whatever their plan is.
Okay, so we're about to go to the lines. I'm not going to comment further into details on the situation, but the Liberian government, I saw a communication from the executive management in which they said the school will be opening on the 13th of this month. I raised that issue with him, with the Assistant Secretary General. He said he doesn't trust the government on the reopening. That's why they want to send the caveat ahead. So in the event where government will reopen the school, good. If government doesn't, they will not be surprised because this is something that they know. They know that the government was able to lie to them 2 different times. That school would have opened and school did not open those particular times. And so, they do not want to keep setting for uncertainty. And so that is where we are. But we are hoping that the government will do everything possible to open the UL. Look, you can't keep the University of Liberia that close. Fire just burned Capitol building in less than 2-3 days. You were able to allot $1.8 million towards the fire situation. And you cannot solve problems confronting students at the University of Liberia. It doesn't make sense. We think in as much as the government will want to continue to herald the issue of education being a priority. We think it should not be only two words, it should be pragmatic. There should be this pragmatic approach towards it. If you say you want to do education on the lips, do it in action. So put some money in the budget, refurbish UL the way you wanted to do it, the way Ellen did not do it, the way George Weah did not do it, the way Taylor did not do it. You guys are the rescue government. You are the ones who are supposed to rescue every sector of this country. So the best way you want to do is to go and do all of what you promised during the campaign. You criticize, let's just say you criticize oh, Joey ain't doing the correct way, Ellen ain't doing it the right way.
And some of you joined.
You were there. Whenever Soup used to go protest, you would join them. You were not in the university, but you would join them to protest. So you are in power right now. Give them the heaven that you promised them in opposition. You told them that UL will be, comparable to East Legon University in Ghana, to the University of Addis in Ethiopia, to the Ibadan University in Nigeria. I mean, those are the kind of comparisons you're making.
Students are saying,
so the students are saying, okay,
we open UL.
Before you make our school tend to Harvard University,
let be inside.
Open it. Yeah. I mean, how come you don't want to open the school? Before the school get better up, it has to be open. We can be home while you're doing all the refurbishing and whatever the situation is. So we're hoping that the government will see reason. I mean, I trust this government. This government is a 42 years experienced government, and you should not be struggling. You should not be struggling to do simple. No, LSI is very serious. For the 2 years of government, there should be no reason why somebody will not trust it. So, since you got 42 years of experience in governmental activities, there is a need that you use those wealth of experience that you have to bring them to fruition, so that at the end of the day, people will know that this is a government of 42 years of experience. When the University of Liberia is closed for over 4 months, it doesn't represent any government that even got 2 years of experience.
You're wasting people's time.
It doesn't represent anything of such. So the way we trust you and remember you to be a government with the reservoir of governmental experience is when you do what is appropriate. To do it is to get the school back to normalcy. You cannot continue to have people children, scatter off. I mean, some of the children can get better. What's going to happen? Once they're not in school, they're not binding by anything serious.
I don't mind the devil's work.
Yes, many guys will start doing a lot of things that are uncalled for. You could be ruining the future of.
You be in school and get better. So don't forget about that better.
That's not a debate. So at the end of the day, there is a need for schools to be reopened. So that our students can run back to school. Mr. President, we beg you, Honorable Mr. President, you came for the 2 years.
Sophisticated.
For the 2 years of experience, you knew it all.
The most experienced president since 1847.
At least you are not dancing, Buka. You're not playing football. The person you serious.
So open the people's
school. Serious president can you still run university close. You're not playing football. You're not singing music. You're not dancing. But the country university is closed under. Come on. I mean, how we say you're serious and the university like we're not serious. No, it is not correlating.
Contradiction.
No, it is not correlating. Yeah. So the man who uses the damn Buka, he can run the whole school open. But President William Denzel Buka did not close school for that kind of length of time. So the senior president should not keep the school closed. It doesn't add up. So we beg you, please. You have got plenty of years of experience. We want you to deploy those wealth of experience and have the real thing done for the people of our country. We'll go to the lines and take a few calls. After which we'll pave the way for our guest. He's coming 5:15, right? That's what we said.
Yeah. So is already here. So in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah. So we'll take calls. America, time. So we'll take few calls on those issues. Small America, though. We'll take few calls on the subject matter. One, policeman, allegedly, committed suicide, killed himself. Number two, super selling Mr. Bwaka, President Bwaka, His Excellency Bwaka.
There will be no
you're not open school. Forget it. You're not talking to school now because we're disturbed. I'm just summarizing what Soup said. But let's open up the lines and talk to our people. Few calls, then we will pave way for Tatos Pakala, a Liberian human rights activist. The man is on time. Way different from the regular Liberian people. Let's take the first batch of calls on 086 500 104, 0776 104 104 are all numbers to join the conversation. Let's go to the international line and begin with this person. Good evening. How you doing, sir? How are you? Hello. Okay, I think we missed out on this person. Let's go over and talk to this other person quickly. Hello, sir. How are you? 1 minute.
Oliver Khan.
How are you, sir?
Doing great.
What is
the way of introduction, my name is joking. Running staff.
Okay, running staff and joking. Go ahead.
Wow.
Thank you. This presentation. This you have this year beginning to be a private institution. What is the sort of realize that this institution is a whole nation institution. They are doing people when you play with the student university or university in this country, you play with yourself. I will tell you that they said the man have 42 years of just experience. Actually, I think that.
Okay.
What he said is when the man will get there, to what is the you have to get
Okay, thank you, running staff and joking. Thank you. We're good, Chief. Let's hear you. What's the name? Where you joining us from? You're calling from where?
Yeah, but I want to follow the woman.
We will come up with a whole conversation on the new US president. We will come up with it. Let's talk to the person quickly. Go ahead, sir. How you doing? Go ahead. Okay, it's a disgrace. Let's talk to the caller. Hello, sir. How are you?
No, I'm not calling. I'm just trying to tell you the ESG number.
Okay, all right, Chief. We'll leave it right there. Let's talk to the person. Hello, how are you?
Hello, okay.
How are you, ma'am? Go ahead, quickly.
Happy New Year, next time.
We're good, man. Sisi, let's hear you. The U.S. parents say if Black guy open the school, they will not allow him to talk so now. Quickly, let's hear you.
Listen to my song talking about there will be no sooner. That's black. You know what I'm saying? I just watch your people. They are very strong. So we are here, everything is there. We are getting the small video. Get a fool at all. But if you go right in the game, you go to they don't say when you pass your food, you go. So we are talking about the support to you. Let's also there. The time will practice get it out of bath where everything said. They said, what they you see, we are. They say, on one time, you know, and they said, there will be no problem. What they don't know. We say, opening. I really want to happy. But to me, I said, I'm black.
Okay. Thank you. We'll leave it right there. Let's talk to the other person. Hello, go ahead. Let's hear you quickly. No time. We have our guests.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon, Oliver. And let me say Happy New Year to you, Lester. You know, this is Edmond Card. If you show me a card, I'm making for comfortable in a second marshal.
Go ahead, Edmond.
We could have been disappointed if we're not going to see some coming up. Because these are the things that they did. Even when it was doing it in their interest, they say it was wrong. You remember? The Samuel took orders out of Black people. Saying they're going to go instead the renovation that was going on. And the politicians of the day, you said they traced the order of the temple. Everything is we had on the campus, the kick and greasy. Some of the university to be perpetually closed. The so-called 42 or 52 or whatever years experienced president that in the university is closed. We can see it open. I think it is good that they are coming up.
Okay.
So see that to hit ahead. The university that brought you the people quickly, Oliver.
No time.
To the police. Yeah, quickly to the police situation. They have doing we are there. They said that we are clear the EPA. So who cleared the PSU? Can we say that brother killed? Because he shot himself in the head. The same thing happened in my country, the same one we are. So the one that happened now, what Philip stated out of frustration because you can't get paid. How many not certified? So you have to shot yourself in the head.
No, we don't have record that Mr. Baka did that. We leave you right there, my dear brother. Let's talk to the other person. Hello, how are you? Quickly.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you? Where you joining us from? What's your name? No time. We got our guest.
This is P. I'm going from MSP, St. Paul, Minneapolis.
Okay, go ahead from St. Paul. Let's hear you.
Yeah, okay. This student, I think one of the called before me, and she said it right. This student, they are all jokers, right? They are jokers. They don't do nothing. They don't do fine. They don't like because the guys, you fools were sitting there.
No. You gotta take it back. Thank you.
Sorry, yes, sorry, my language.
Go ahead.
This guy called the academician in our country is telling that Josh, we are trying to do better for them, trying to introduce free education to them and give them the best in education. But at the end of it, people who now went to school, who don't know about education, were food and everything to go against Josh, we are demonstrate brilliantly. But today, send Brother Ben Power. Just coming 22nd May for that 1 year. They have not signed class before. They want to hear about graduation that Georgia already prepared. They put us up. So they just a bluff. They won't do nothing. And they are cowards. We are cowards. We don't talk. We want to die for us. We want freedom, but we don't want to die for freedom. We want to die for us. So as long as we don't want someone to die for us, you went through.
Okay.
Trust me. Do everything for me. And I'm not going to count it.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll leave you right there, my dear brother. We'll take the last five callers, then we go directly to our guest. 5 more calls, then DJ Hero will help us bring in our guest, Mr. Titus Pakala, a Liberian human rights activist. He's concerned about the too many missing human beings in the country, mysterious death, and other issues. Go ahead. This person, 1 minute. Hello, sir. When you please leave the room, we have terrible feedback. Go ahead, Steve. Let's hear you. You are better off.
Okay, speaking from the highway, Dolphy, and Jackson.
Jackson, go ahead, sir.
Okay, the one thing that really...
Oh, Jackson, sorry you left the line. I don't know who kicked you off, but Jackson, you got to call back. This person, go ahead. 1 minute. Hello? Hello? Oh, no. You guys not paying attention. Yeah. Let's talk to the other person quickly. Hello, how are you?
Hello.
How are you, ma'am? Quick, no time. Go ahead.
I was ready to because to go to
no, that's a different conversation. We're going to be having a different discussion on it. Trust me, that's a different conversation. But let's see if we can go to the lines and take the last 3 callers quickly. The last 3 callers before we have our guest in studio. This person, go ahead. 1 minute. Let's hear you.
And you time about some of the line, you know what kind of you belong. We are getting room. Let me say hi to Lezer. The movement. Time we are not satisfied. The way country is running, and we brought out the process we have for the summer year experience. But we're not seeing nothing. And there's somebody who just go yesterday, and just the person that president. This is what happened to your company from the border. Your company. You see that? You know when you're going to correct what available for me, I go communication. You see the people presenting live information. You see that? And when they put them on copy. So again, this is the country that we are in. I think I'm moving on. It's coming like Baltimore.
Okay.
They know that. You know, they ain't put it there. That go, you're giving the power, but not doing what you're saying. You're not doing what you're saying. The poor are suffering, and they're wrong in our country.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. We leave you right there. The KK operator is saying people are suffering. I mean, he's always transporting Liberians. So apparently that's what people. Yeah, that's what people can be saying in the KKN. So that's why it is. DJ Hero, can you please get our guest for us? It will be appropriate. But let's take this call quickly. Then we. Hello. How you doing, sir?
You see the just have to come out to say, oh, what would they were wrong? You see, Javier Wood, and then according to the end of our place, you don't want to say that all these people to have 1 minute in the associate. And somebody who have for the 2 year experience for the first year or experience to the university has been closed through. And the staff that will be here, all kinds of things, all the publishers are all been filled. So, I mean, we want to do what is the situation we find ourselves in. Let us say now,
We leave you right there. Let's take the last person and we'll take a break. Hello, sir. How are you? You're the last caller on this issue. Go ahead, Melvin. Let's hear you, Melvin. Okay, all right, we leave you right there. We leave you, my dear brother. Let's take this quick break. When we come back from our break, we will be engaging we'll be engaging Mr. Titus Pakala. He is a Liberian human rights activist. He's been in this business for a very long time. But let's take this quick break to be right back. Keep the cash giveaway coming in for those of you who are playing, where we'll try to call all of you who will be winning at the end of the platform. But let's go and take this quick break to be right back. So welcome back to the program. It's for now. Crime Stoppers Liberia is our feature sponsor, and Liberia is also building sponsor here on the platform. We have in studio Mr. Titus Pakala. He's our guest, and will be drilling us through a lot of observation he has had on the Black situation. Let's go and have our guest.
Can we have him in studio, please? Good afternoon, Tatus. I don't know. Is this your first time on Freedom Hub?
This is my second time.
On Freedom Hub.
No, on Freedom Hub. On Freedom
Hub because we placed the call to you
in phone conversation.
Yeah. Sure, so this is your first appearance on Freedom Hub in person.
Right.
So I'd like to say welcome, and it is actually a pleasure to have you here with us. Okay. And just before Tatus got here, we had a lot of different talks behind the scenes. Like he couldn't wait to be here because a lot is happening, and I think there's this burning desire to actually tell Liberians what's happening, as well as to call on the national government to maybe intervene when it comes to all these different things that are happening. So I'd like to say welcome. And some people know you, some people do not know you. So who is Tatos Pakala?
So my name is Titus B. Pakala. Pakala is a kissing name that means strong boom. I'm a Clariton king. Of course, I grew up in the slum.
Uh-huh.
I also graduated from the United Methodist University. Now, I'm known for my extreme involvement in anti-rape campaigns across Liberia. One of which is in 2020 when I led the most famous in the history of Liberia, most famous 3 days anti-rape protest that led ex-president George Manuel to declare rape a national emergency, and also a portion $1.5 United States $1 million to the national SGBV roadmap, and also appointed specialized rape prosecutors in the Republic of Liberia. So as part of the work I do, along with young change makers, they've been involved. We've been able to achieve a lot, and I also have an advanced certificate in the African Human Rights System from the Center for Human Rights Studies in Pretoria, South Africa. And I'm also a minimalist. I challenge, public policy that tends not to address social issues that concern our citizens of the Republic of Liberia. And I'm also a victim of the system.
Oh, wow. So it's a mix of almost everything. So some of you out there, Tatos, and this is like one of the loudest voices we have in our country. He's not strange to a lot of you. He has spoken about a lot of different issues, especially when it comes to all forms of violence in our country. But how has it been for the past 1 year? Because we're now in 2025, so Happy New Year anyway. And a lot has happened from January of last year, and here we are again. So how has it been? What have you been up to?
Well, we've been around and we've been pressuring the government of IT.
Okay.
The President Joseph Yimam Pwaka led government to IT as much as we did during ex-President George Manuel term. So we're still doing that on President Joseph Yimam Pwaka. There's been massive failure, to be honest with you. Massive failure as in protecting the rights of women and children across Liberia. It will interest you to know that the Ministry of Gender, I want to do this as a comparative analysis. Okay. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection in 2024 did not produce a single report, not a quarterly report on sexual and gender-based violence cases across Liberia. Neither did the Ministry of Gender produce a single case informing the Liberian people on progress made on sexual and gender-based violence in Liberia. And that alone contravenes the Freedom of Information Act, Chapter 3, Section 3.1, which says that the public, any public institution that runs public affairs should provide public information to the public. We are not aware. Now, comparatively, in 2018, the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, by then on ex-minister Wadimina Piso Sedita, have brought out the total number of situational sexual and gender-based violence cases across the country. And by then, we stood at 920. Right? At least there was progress in terms of addressing those issues. Fast forward in 2020, we challenged the ex-president regime, President George Manuel, and we said, look, the number is increasing. What you need to do is that you need to declare rape a national emergency, and that you bring young people on this very table to address the issue. What did the ex-president do? Well, he brought young people like me to sit on the national sexual and gender-based violence roadmap to craft a framework document addressing sexual and gender-based violence with introducing a national SGBV task force. Comparatively, in 2023, under our president, Joseph Yimam Pwaka, there hasn't been much in terms of judiciary correctness, effectiveness. Most often, victims do not know where to go. Survivors do not know where to go. And the cases are not being brought to the public. So how then will the community come out to say, we want justice, we want justice? So it is a politics of social exclusion that tends to undermine our involvement as activists and human rights defenders to pressure the government, because they create a scene as though nothing is happening because you're not providing the statistics. But when you provide the statistics and we get informed about how many cases, how many rape cases are occurring in Monserrato, how many rape cases in Bomi, like the way we used to get those reports from the former regime of George Manawian, we're not getting it. And so a lot of people, a lot of activists across the country are not informed.
Well, have you made efforts to contact the folks at the Ministry of Gender?
So I just quoted section 3.3.1. Section 3.1.
Sometimes the laws are on the book, but you will need to make the effort as the activist.
Yeah, but the law is compelling me as an activist to inquire for the information. When you inquire for the information and the government does not give it to you, it becomes a flagrant violation of this existing law. Okay. So that is it. So I do not want to tune to sound political.
How many times have you attempted, getting the information from the Ministry of Gender?
Twice of all of the times.
Under this current administration.
Yes, twice for all of the time.
And what exactly were the responses?
We requested. There was no report. The last time I requested for a report was that they're still working on the report.
Okay.
They cannot provide the report. How could you be working on report that constitute girls, women who were sodomized, who were abused to death?
Okay.
Think about that. Come to think about that. How can you be comparing a report of such? How do we allow international multilateral organizations to intervene or to support the government? How do we allow activists like me, activists that are to get involved in agitating for justice? This is where we are as a country, and comparatively, things are not working as how we expected, and we do not need to manage our expectation on this. I think we need to organize, active youth campaigners to ensuring that we pressure for a reform in the system.
You just mentioned that under the Weah's administration, the first year, they were able to make a declaration of all of the different cases relative to sexual, gender exploitation, and stuff involving women and girls, especially the kids. Now, year one under the Vargas administration, it is the opposite. No progress report, not even a quarterly report. The year has already ended. Nothing to the public. You do not know what to work with as activists. What's going to be your next move? Because the last time I checked, 2019, you were organizing protest actions in the country, even though you were receiving progressive report, yet still you were still organizing protests. In this administration, you are not getting any quarterly report. Year one is down, no report. Liberians are kind of watching you. What then do you do?
So you see, the expectation of us, we had assumed that President Joseph Yimambuaga was coming with the most technical people.
Okay.
To reform the system.
That was an assumption.
We assumed I mean, politicians have their own way of convincing the most illiterate and poor people who do not have direction in terms of democratic processes.
Okay.
Who are only fascinated by, depths of rest and stuff like that. So what I'm trying to say, some of us, I represent the majority of the commoners. We were convinced that the president was coming to liberate the people, and nothing has happened. So what we need to do is that we need to ensure that the Minister of Gender, even before we call for her immediate resignation or dismissal, we would like to first of all make her understand that we're not anti-government activists.
Okay.
We're open up to working with her to ensuring that the system is well effective. Of course, we have technicians with us. We can work with her to ensuring that the system is more proactive. Look, there is still lack of situational reports across the country. Let's take, for example, you bring Adiamu Kane, who is an art specialist. Adiamu Kane could map, all of the counties involving sexual and gender-based violence, and it showed that there's proactive SGBV community mechanism that as soon as somebody is sexually abusing Claritin, somebody will make call and say this happening, or somebody will die this number, but when you even die, the SGBV call number, it doesn't go through.
Okay.
So we're open up to supporting the government. We don't want to appear as anti-government. The second thing is, if that does not happen, we need to all come together and call for dismissal, because we cannot employ a minister of gender, children, and social protection who doesn't do her work. We all support feminism, but feminism comes with qualification and competence.
Okay.
Right? So what we need to do is that if she does not treat the Liberian people fairly and still survives on the taxpayers' money, we will tell her you have to stop eating the taxpayer money, resign, so that the most qualified and technical people can come and lead us.
Now, is it an issue of qualification or somebody in a particular policy role is trying to keep technical information from the sector so that people, don't know what's happening. What are you suspecting as an activist? Do you think I rephrase?
So there are two contexts of this. Number one, it could be for political reasons.
Okay.
Of course, the president came to say, "Oh, we're coming to solve the Liberian people.
People will not be raping again.
No rape will be in the country. Everything will be all right." He made public declaration that sexual gender-based violence. In 2020, President Josiah Yima Bwaka joined us in 5 protests to call for ex-president George Manneh. We have to declare rape a national emergency. He joined us. I was part of the leadership. I led the anti-TPD protest. He joined us. There are political people who joined us.
That's why I'm asking, what are you suspecting?
The context of this almost Josiah Yima Bwaka, President Josiah Yima Bwaka, is that he joined us to agitate against George Manneh. And now it's quite unfortunate that they're not going to tell us how many rape cases again because it goes against him. And for political reasons, if they do that, the very young people will rise and say, but Josiah Yima Bwaka, president, and you joined in 2020, he said, "Oh, rape cases is a problem for our women and children." How can now when the president is still happening? That is the common political reason. The second one could be a politics of social exclusion.
Okay.
There are people who are interested in defining and dismantling social issues. Now, when they come and say, but will my girlfriend, every time my girlfriend is sexually abused, every time there's intimate partner violence, every time there's domestic violence, nothing is happening. What can we do? Now, this trickery means the government does not show you where is a referral pathway. Who do you go to where? How do you call? And how do you address it? So that it becomes a social problem between you and your girl when it happens. Your girl can go report a case, of course, because the system is broken. Your pastor daughter who may have been sexually abused cannot do anything because, there's no system to show them what is happening. Now, the other one here has to do with what we call the technical people call our system thinking. System thinking is a specific design system to addressing internal structural problem.
Okay.
Now, in the Ministry of Gender, you know that every time people in the field are sexually abused, the women and children in the market building were abused, right? In poor community, you're interested to know there was a 13-year-old girl who was sodomized by infant inheritance. So then, the government has not been able to intervene. They're not willing to even call people. So, on this note, is that the system thing makes you to call young people, sit on the table, call your staff at the Ministry of Gender. What can we do collectively? It is missing. So you see, let me tell you, I criticized the former Minister of Gender, Wilhelmina Piso Sedita, and there are some regrets, and there are some things that I cannot regret on. Is that I'm an activist. I need to pressure the system. And my regret is that she left with her legacy that has not been protected. You think legacy is very proactive.
You think the guys are not building up on what she left behind?
Okay, they are not building up. The legacy is that the ex-minister Wilhelmina Piso Sedita was always communicating on situational cases. She used to call young people across the communities. How can we intervene? That was what is going on. Where did it happen? At some point, I would get irritated and say, "It's not my responsibility. I'm not being paid for this.
Okay.
So don't call me.
Okay.
Or when I put it against you, you resign." But those were the actions we took back then. And these are currently our regrets. Again, we want a reform in the system.
So, before Alexa come in,
other issues as well.
We want to get done with this issue of under-reporting and so forth. Now, year one has ended. What are you going to do? We're beginning year two, a couple of days to come. What are you going to do as an activist? Do you have extra records besides what you anticipated to have come from the government?
So we've already instituted a shadow reporting mechanism.
Okay.
We don't have to tell the government they won't happen. Anytime the U.S. embassy come with their report and tell us, say, in Liberia, there was no SGBV cases in the country here. It is because the government did not report it. Meanwhile, activists went into the field and practically got those information. We do shadow report against whatever international multilateral organizations in Liberia to report to the Independent Human Rights Commission and to also report to the African Union, because the African Union supports shadow reporting.
So why if the government underdeclares at the level of the partners, maybe because they are not providing information to you? apparently, I mean, the fear could be there are a lot of people being raped, there are a lot of victims, all over the place, and they do not want to leak out those information to you, the activists, so that you don't put pressure on them. They could go to the U.S. embassy, using other partners and say, look, instead of the actual 900 to 1,500 cases, they could say about 300, happened. Then what are you going to do?
They will back it with our statistics we have. So that is where the shadow reporting comes about, because the shadow report invalidates any report that does not seem to be real, rather, convincing the very population. So we bring our own shadow report to say, look, this is what happened. Now we bring survivors. If the survivors agree, we bring survivor and say, look, Mary, 13-year-old was sexually abused, was sodomized. Peter, this was sodomized, right? Bring them and say this. So realistically, when we sit on the table, we get to be heard out as real people.
Okay.
Yes, of course. So we're going to institute a shadow reporting process.
Okay.
Okay. So just before we leave this issue, I remember a couple of years back, if not many years back, we saw different, campaign on the social media. And basically, there were campaigns from different organizations, trying to achieve just the same thing, trying to seek justice, or different organizations just trying to put the government feet to the fire. And we saw that play out like on a daily basis. Like every single day, you would have seen maybe or a certain reported rape case from a particular community being reported not by the government, yet by activists or human rights defenders. We saw that happen like every single day. But Oliver and I on this platform, we have said over and over again, we do not see that play out now with the different organizations and maybe some of the different groupings like religious groupings or just people who got together to write reports, people who got together to put the government's feet to the fire. So what has been the quote on? Is it because of the same social exclusion you talked about, or what exactly is the problem?
So in specific social justice revolution, the people who default. For example, in South Africa, Julius Malema, most of the colleagues are leaving and going to the other political party. So the president came to power. There were people who were part of us who claimed to have been activists, and they agitated. They support. As soon as they start us, we protest again, join you and say we're going to protest. At the end of the day, when I had realized that most of these guys were Unity Party partisans, it broke me to realize that I was in the wrong space with people with specific intention, different intention, political intention.
Okay.
So at this point in time, some of them are now working in government. So they're afraid to come out to say we want justice. That is how biased it is. So the women in Clarendon, Nukutan, let them understand that the way we used to protest before and the reason why it's not happening now, which is coming happen very soon, right? Is that the people that are used to join to protest, they don't join government now, they don't want to protest because they say when they rape you, when you sexually abuse, nothing should come out of it. So for us, we'll not get government job. Even when we get government job, we'll still stay into the street. If it costs us our dismissal, we'll stay in the street and demand for justice. So our market women, our motorists, we prepare to organize ourselves and ensure that we pressure the President of the Republic of Liberia, the Minister of Gender, Children and Social Protection, so that justice can be served across our country.
Well, okay. Other than that, we also have tons of mysterious, I hate to say mysterious killings in our country because sometimes you don't know exactly the term to use. We have seen that a lot on the social media. If you're just going to go to some of the online televisions, you're going to see a lot more reported on a daily basis from different counties, different communities. And tattoos being tattoos, you're not just advocating, or you're not just here to talk about sexual violence and all that. You're a human rights defender, and we have seen you like back to back. You have been like at the forefront of some of the different issues we've had in our country when it comes to protecting the rights of people. So what do you make of all of these different mysterious killings being reported on a daily basis in our country?
Okay, so I like to always do comparative analysis. In 2021, I appeared on the West African Democracy Radio in Dakar, Senegal. I call on the president, the former president of Liberia. I mean, the mysterious deaths. You got to do something. You be the president. We're going to the street. The very political people who wore, civil rights, activism T-shirt around the journals and say, yeah, true. The fast forward, I mean, the president along with the Liberia National Police, at that time was Patrick Sulu. They called us to the table and said, look, we're begging you, please give us some of these reports, so that we can support, our brothers and sisters, protect them to ensure that we can have things work out. Right now, there were little progress made, even though there were challenges. But the mantle of authority on which the president came to serve this country was to ensure that he should promptly address these very things that happened before. Number one, on April 14, 2024, may their soul rest in peace. They were never meant to have died mysteriously or in any extrajudicious manner. But may their soul rest in peace as I recite their names. Amanda Nimbo, April 14, 2024, was mysteriously murdered. May his soul rest in peace. Morris Gomo, July 2nd, 2024, was mysteriously murdered. Francis Dogo, on March 12, 2024, he was mysteriously murdered. He was stabbed to death. No state prosecution. 4, may his soul rest in peace. Austin Yapawolo, April 17, 2024. He was brutalized by police of the Liberia National Police to death. Number 5, Bangali Kamara, may his soul rest in peace. He was shot by the police on February 28, 2024 in Kinjo. You know about the Kinjo massacre, right? 6, Issa Masale, may his soul rest in peace, shot by police on February 28, 2024. James Kennedy, of course, the famous death that happened in around rehab. The student, the low boy, of course, 17-year-old student, struggling student, on whose shoulder his parent relied, was shot dead by an officer of the Liberian National Police on July 1, 2024. Moses Vesely, may soul rest in peace, February 5, 2024. He was mysteriously found dead. Amanda Joe, February 29, 2024, was 23 years old, was raped by a 70-year-old man. Wow. Number 10, Amalene Zuba, on June 4, 2024, no state prosecution. This woman was found dead with sensitive part extracted in the Dolotown, Lower Margidi County. These are statistical inferences. I'm not stopping there. The Liberian people must know. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Number 11 was Dorete Yima, June 7, 2024. This woman was found there in Debo River. Debo River is in Maryland. I may not be a traditional pronouncer of the term or phrase, what Debo is, but it's a specific geographical location in Maryland. So the Maryland people hearing me, they can validate this information and also join me to call for justice. 12, Emmanuel Kodi, June 7, 2024, Lofa, Salaye District. My own said the place me are from, Salaye District. No state prosecution. You have Rosaline Dobo. What happened to him? This man was killed. He was murdered. Okay. In fact, he was stabbed. Okay. We were called and that we should intervene. But there's security risks from Monrovia or from Clarendon to Salaye. Oh, it's fine. And I even get a car. No security is protecting me. And I get a car pay. I will move on and go Salaye to go save that man. It's not possible. Okay. Right? The police has that capacity. They should have the capacity. So at the end of the day, no state prosecution. We also we already talked about Morris Gomo. So these are cases. For instance, we also have Prince Reyu. That's 14. Prince Reyu, that's 14. April 12, 2024. Okay. Imagine this person dying in prison. The person dying. It's a gross violation of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Okay. On pre-trial detention, you have the right to appear. You have the right to appear for trial before formal prosecution. And there is a legal matter that states that an accused is presumed innocent
Until proven
proven
guilty.
in a court of competent jurisdiction and guilty. It did not happen. We come to Abraham K. Doom. We saw the guy lifeless body, right? Laying and we saw, I mean, we got to realize that he graduated, in fact, from what Stars University College, which was very embarrassing for us. Then we call on the U.S. Embassy. The U.S. Embassy that always come up with situational reports. Every time they come up with human rights report in this country, these are evidences that prove that mysterious death, extrajudicial death, political related death are still occurring in this country, and that the Liberian people should rise against the arrogance of injustices across our country.
You're calling on the Liberian people to rise up. You led the other initiatives, that saw Liberians waking up in if I'm not mistaken, 2020, 2019, or thereabout. This radio proclamation is not going to be sufficient to call on Liberians to rise. What then are you going to do?
So we're into communities, mobilizing. I mean, we have the Western Women Network, we have different youth groups, we have the Action for Justice, Human Rights, and the PGHR, Alliance for Peace, Justice, and Human Rights. We have the March for Justice. That was the famous March for Justice.
March for Justice, right?
Yes, of course, we have those. We have different pressure groups we're going to bring together to ensure that we pressure the government. But beyond protestations, beyond demonstration, we're well inclined. We're technical. We're not beggars.
Okay.
We're not just protesters. We do protest because we're very tired of the social system, of the political and social system.
Okay.
So we're open up to supporting whatever government, the same way we acted to the former president of this country to support him, succeed. It's the same way we want to make this president to succeed.
Okay.
But if he refuses, like the Bible may say, like Jesus said, come now, let's reason together, though your sin may be as red as scarlet. We can reason together, but when you fail, you shall be devoured by the sword of God. For the book of law has spoken. So we as people, calling on the president, the minister of the to listen to us as we're hoping to considering improving their system. There's no way our women and children are still being sexually abused every day. There are deaths, there are mysterious killings every day in this country. Karen and Alexis, you will be witnesses to the demonstration in this country, and I will call for the immediate resignation of the current Minister of Gender, and we also call for His Excellency President Joseph Yimon Boaga to lead the presidency.
How far are we from that decision?
Well, we're very close to making that happen.
Okay.
It requires mass action. The government has different approach in terms of dealing with protesters.
Okay.
Most often, I've seen, of course, when you go protest,
you're scary.
But we're not scary. I said this on Voice of Liberia. No president born out of the privilege of voters can scare us. We are the progenitor. The book say we are the progenitors of this democracy. So there is no precedent, there's no system that can do this. I mean, I'm just trying to tell you that the approach they've been taking. But when protesters are ready to see they're going through the wrong, they can be beating on it, they will bring water, chalk, they will bring all that other things. But we different. When we eat the street, we can sleep in the street for 3 days, 4 days. It is more like the South African Revolution.
Okay.
We're not afraid. We did it during Josh. We had time. We will do it. The only thing I can tell you, Khan, to be honest, there are some regrets we're making as activists across this country, is that the expectation of this president has failed. Things have shifted. Nothing seems to be working in terms of human rights related issues across this country. Look at Jessica Lopez, man.
People think you're being political when you start to sound like this. Nothing has changed. The expectation is down.
Yeah, I'm a Liberian. I'm on talk, man. I came here for I say I don't even want to sound political, but because when the issue is so burning, you have to talk. You can talk all the talk. Nothing seems to be happening. So you're disappointed as an activist and actually disappointed in the assistant president of the Republic of Liberia. That is my clear position. I can go in the market and tell you why I'm disappointed. 100 reasons I will give them, ranging from human rights related cases. But this is
somebody who stood with you in 2020 to do the same.
That's when it comes. That's when when you do not know somebody and the person change their intentions, it becomes a problem. Think about you going to a girl and tell the girl, say, "Oh, I love you. We're gonna do this together. We're married." If she agree at the end of the day, marry her. She tells you, "Look, I put in for divorce." Blah blah blah. You become heartbroken. That just the same scenario of this whole presidency on a human podcast.
Now,
But you propose to us with all of the manifestos. You say, "You're probably there. I will be the one. I will do the one. I will read you from the road, read you from the yellow machine. The rest of the other thing, which another political pundits may come and argue on that." At the end of the day, nothing seems to be working.
Now, so you listed over 15 different cases.
Right.
I mean, they're either rape cases, murder cases, police brutality leading to death. These are cases that will have different governmental institutions presiding over. For example, the issue in Kinjal with the police, the Lobo who was killed in rehab. Those are issues the police director can handle. Have you made follow up as an activist? The Kinjal massacre and the other police brutality issue that led to death, including the Liberian who died in prison.
Right, because they had a press conference, and one of the phrases that was actually used to talk about unintentional, killing. So that was like, I don't want to say justification. That was like one of the phrases, and Liberians were angry about that. So have you reached out beyond just that press conference that was held?
Yeah. So we requested the report. We requested for the report, and I mean, it just validates what you said. I mean, it was unintentional. That was abusive to some of us who said the police intentionally, voluntarily shot somebody to death, and that because that police was positioned and paid at that place at the mining company, and that he didn't amend it. So we called initially for their dismissal. Nothing happened. So what we're doing is that we have to rely on these fights to push our case and ensure that justice is served.
But these are the same people who are supposed to serve the very justice you anticipate.
Right.
Now, all of your initial, interventions you've made, in having them address some of these issues, fell on healthy soil. Now, what's there for you? Is there any hope that they're going to come back? The same people who did not give you the chance, they're going to come back to solve the problems you want to solve?
We have to shield them. We have to be belligerent. We have to be forceful in doing things.
Okay.
At times when you sit on the round table to discuss policy issue, that pen and paper thing. Sometimes put a pen and paper down, wear your black and black, mourn for those who have been killed.
Okay.
Voluntarily, involuntarily, go into the street and tell the people you can put 10,000 human beings outside. We have the capacity to do that. Somebody, in fact, just on your show, somebody texted me that they're willing to support to ensuring that they can join us and we do any peaceful demonstration in this country. It is our position, it is our right as activists. We're fearless to do this. So as much as they're feeling us, it is time for Liberian people to step up, rise up against the fortunes of injustice and ensuring that we pressure this government to act respectfully.
Okay, we're about to go to the lines. You will have to save the rest of the other information for your parting comments, but we want to reach out to our callers. Alyssa,
is there anything we did not talk about that you would like to just say something a bit before going to the phone lines?
There are a lot of things, but I think these things are so sufficient for us. Okay. Maybe if after the calls, then we can.
Okay. All right. So let's go and see if we can take a few calls. Perhaps we will run into 5, 6, 7 calls at post. According to him, he said, in year one of the We as administration, there were declarations made. At least the Ministry of Gender on the piece of tar told the Liberian people how many kids were being raped, and so many things that were happening. Unfortunately for them as activists under the Broadcast administration, year one, the government is not telling anybody anything who has been raped. There is no record on it. Nobody is aware of how many kids have been raped. And for him and all other activists, this is embarrassing and should not be the case. Call us on 086 500 104 0776 104 104 are the numbers to join the conversation. He listed over 15 different mysterious deaths, including police brutality, and other forms of violence. But let's go to the lines and talk to you quickly. Then we go to him for his parting comments. You already know the numbers: 86 500 104 776 104 104 to be a part of the conversation. The first person, go ahead, sir. Let's hear you. We're good, Chief. Go ahead. Okay, the EPI guy who came himself. I mean, Titus is here. Apparently, he's going to talk about it. I didn't hear him mention the AFL guy who shot himself as well. Go ahead. Hello, how you doing?
This is Stanley coming from Korea.
Go ahead, Stanley.
Yeah, we want to sell better. Thank you so much, and we are willing to support and walk over with the team anytime, any day.
Okay. Anytime, any day, you're willing to move on. This other person. Hello, sir. How are you? Good afternoon. How are you, sir? You are on today. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We'll leave you right there. Rescue Giant. We'll talk to the other person. Hello, sir. How are you? You listen to the activist.
You will know what work are. You will not really one of the words except the edge.
Okay. So he said he's not bad about that. Let's talk to the other person. Hello, how are you? Hello? Hello, when you call the radio, go ahead, sir.
Yeah. There is a difference between say and do.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly, whenever there is protest, people scared to go in the street. You can see it. As far as I know, the University of Liberia said that. And when the time came, all of them left. They were bribed, elected bribed, and they didn't go in the street.
So you think this activists will be bribed? Is that what you're thinking?
It's possible.
Okay, we'll leave you right there. We'll talk to the other person. Hello, how are you? How you doing?
Hello, how are you? Okay.
We are great. Take no time, sir.
I'm going to
Tony, go ahead.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to we said that we should work along with the government, especially the general administrator, let's show whatsoever that is going on.
The man said he has been doing that, but they are refusing to give him information. They are not responding to him. They are not telling him anything tangible.
The general minister should answer whatever it is. She cannot do the work of the
okay, then she should resign. That's the same thing the activist said. We leave you right now. We go to Mancisi. She's the last caller. Go ahead. You're the last.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you say the activist is still.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask the activist, when last time they start talking about it, because then they had to all the politics and going on in the country. It was saying that nothing was talking. Nothing was speaking out. So we're going to show what process now. Okay.
The man said they were gathering information. That's what he said.
But the fact we were making the fact we were happy, let's see the fact that's right.
Okay. Okay.
Then last people die in the country. People telling for each job. People are dying in the street. People shooting in the air.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. We'll leave it right there. Titus, I think we got to squeeze in this exceptional caller, then we call it a day. Go ahead. You're the last person. Hello?
Good evening.
Good evening, Chief. You're the last caller.
Thank you very much. I'm the last caller.
Former police officer, Mr. Duke, let's hear you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Oh, your line is down. You walk around small, your line is breaking.
Okay, fine.
Go ahead.
You can get me clear now?
Yeah, take your time.
Fine. I want you to please make your House of Parliament and make it clear on national security. Okay, clear on the fire and the House of Parliament. The chief of security and his fellow officers put on House of Police every day. So everything, the officer of the police and nothing to get to what the people that had the exam of the House of Parliament.
Okay, all right. Okay. Okay, all right. I mean, that's a whole new information the man is providing. Yeah. So let's go to you, Titus, for your party comments and perhaps in less than 2 minutes.
Yes, I think Man CC or Man C.
My sister.
She
said it took too long.
Yeah, but she made a specific point. She said something. She said what the Muslim Council and the Council of Churches, they're silence. The very government, they took few of the prominent, officers.
I know they appointed Reverend Samuel Brown,
of course.
I mean, Samuel Reeves.
They were very silent. So what we're doing is that the first step to dealing with this issue is not just to protest. We're generating fights.
Okay.
And we'll come out with a fight and we can be able to convince people like Massisi. Massisi will take that information and carry it to the market where she lives to tell the people and say that they think they're happening. Then when we're talking to us, to be convinced to say no, we got to join these people to ensure that we agitate for justice, to ensure that there's a reform, in our system. Yeah.
Okay, your parting comments on all of the other issues.
I'm hoping to come back here and anytime soon to ensure that we provide more, inferences, statistical inferences. Of course, today, the conversation was more like from a logical conclusion, and it was not statistically oriented. So the next time we're coming here, when we bring more facts to the table, we're going to dismantle the fact and numbers to ensure that people can know that we're more informed about what's happening in Liberia and that we're prepared to address these issues, in our country. Thank you so very much.
Okay. All right, so it's Titus Pakala, a Liberian human rights activist, especially with women and girls, children, of course. And he's been here telling us more about his disappointment in the current administration, especially in the way they're handling issues of rape, issues of mysterious killing, and so forth in the country. Until we return on tomorrow, Alexa and I, have a wonderful time, and God bless you. Bye-bye.